This is the amount killed for the Judeans, and that's the Romans. It may be a tiny bit lopsided. Maybe a few more Romans should have died. But there's definitely going to be a lot of Judeans. Remember, the first assault don't matter. He gets 90% of that back. It's in the second assault where you have to worry about a little more. So there's 76 dead Judeans. I'm going to draw 68 of them. That's 90%. Now I put 2 purple ones in there. That's the Onagers, because we want to make them all the same size, because it's a random draw. And then for the 4 Calderons, I put the Romans. And the leaders automatically come back with only 9 hex command range. So we'll mark them when we start somehow, but those come back automatically. So I'm going to draw these and then I'll come back, let you know what we got. So we drew back all but these 9. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all but 8. And all of the artillery came back, the Calderons, the Onagers, and all of that came back. And so this is what I was talking about. Look how many Judeans were left in that last assault. Not much, but when all this comes back, the ranks are really going to swell. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not too worried, and there's only 2 of the light green left. I'm not really worried about losing in the first assault, Judean units. Now what I like to use is in the general magazine, same thing where I got that preparation chart, showed you, volume 26, number 4. They lay it out here pretty good. Once you get the Judean replacements back, you just follow this list of what to do. And it says the Roman player calculates the victory points, and I did. So you add up all the points due that were lost, and 73 points. So the Judeans have 73 points right now. Remember, when the game ends, if they have 1,500 points, they win. That's one of the ways to win. There's like 3 ways to win. Then we secretly put our artillery down. And so again, it's not a secret. I'm going to place the artillery. This time, there ain't no way I can let the Romans in the temple. So I will guard that heavily, and then because we've lost the new city and I'm starting back here, I'll kind of protect this a little more, this a little more, this a little bit, and kind of even put some secondary, and then just a couple back there again. Oh, I put a ballista right there in the temple, catapult on that end, and I really strengthened up this corner here. Onager, catapult, catapult. And I think I'm going to make one shift. This can go here because we can fire out and in. So that Onager's there. So I'm really going after the temple side, protecting it. And this little corner. I believe most people will mine this area. So I don't like to waste too much there. So an Onager went there. Then on this corner, another Onager. And then I fortified this. I don't want them getting in this area. And then again, one here and one here are my favorite spots to put at least an artillery there as they're slowly coming up the slopes, having archers and at least one artillery pounding them there. So I still own this and these forts along the wall, and I can place an artillery there to really hamper the backside of the Romans. And I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to take this catapult off, and I want one right there. Now everywhere where I place that, I have to put one Judean right now, because if you place an artillery, you got to place it a Judean. So I'm going to place one of these guys. We're going to go with a regular. We'll try to sortie out, and then when I set up, I'm allowed to place in these forts. We'll try to sortie behind the Romans if we can. We'll see. And one other thing, before we get rolling too far, is the Judeans get rest of the rest of the reserves they didn't use in the new city. You get to add them right now. So we had 5, 10, 15, 20. We had 21, so there's 3 infantry. So I think I'm going to pick, and the rules don't stipulate how you get those reserves, so we're just going to follow the normal rules, how they would get them. So he gets 3. Let's see what they'll be. Oh, he gets a zealot, he gets a militia, and he gets a regular. So one of each. So the zealot is easy. I'll add one there. And since I got a lot of ground to cover, I think I'm putting green on this side. I'm going to give them a regular. I'll give them the regular and the militia. So in each bypassed fort in the new city, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I put 1 infantry. And most of them were from the Ben Gurion faction, and the other one was from the Ben Levi faction. The moment we all been waiting for, the preparation time. I am going to take, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go 7 weeks first. Then the next assault I'm going 8. So let's go 7 weeks. That's the preparation time I am picking. Now if I want to build a ramp, I can at this time, and I do not want to. Now the Judean is allowed to repair any damaged parts of the wall, and there are none. We have complete breaches out here, so there's none of that. And now I engage in the mining, and I make a mining die roll to determine the number of completed shafts. So here we go, and the preparation was 7. I'm going to add 1 to this dice, so I got 4 shafts, and that's the maximum amount you can have. So I have dug 4 mining shafts. And now I will cite where I dug the shafts. Now again, there's not a lot of built-up area going behind right here and right here. So I want 1 there, 1 there, then I want 1 right here, and then I want 1 right here. And that's where we dug the shafts. Now each shaft you dig has to be within 11 hexes of a Roman headquarters and all of that legion's artillery. So that means I have to have a legion here, 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 and out here, which I'm gonna. Anyways, this is the site of the first shaft. Rolling a dice to see how many walls were damaged. 1. That means 3 walls were damaged, and I get a +1 to the damage roll. So I'm gonna roll this. First one on the gate, add 1 to the dice. 6, 7. So the gate is damaged. The wall next to it is 8, 9 times. And what do we need? Let's see what the breach damage of a regular wall is. Not the north wall, just a wall would be an 8. So that wall got breached. So already collapsed the wall there, and then the one on the other side, it automatically goes on both sides of where you mined, was 4, 1 more is 5. So the other side gets 5. So that's the damage to that. Now we move to this spot. 1 roll, and it's a 6. That means 5 hexes were affected, but I get, because it's spread out wider, you don't get extra, it's not as powerful. So again, the hex first, I get no added to it, but it is a 9. So it got breached. Now we go on the 2 hexes to the side. Here's 1. And that breached. The one on the other side, that breached. Wow. So good there. Good there. Now we hit the other 2 on the side again. There we go, 1. And that breached. And 7 did not. So we really have great opening right here. So 4 breached hexes, a damage there. Now we mined this one next, the Antonia Fortress. We roll 1 dice. How many hexes are affected? 3. So that is just 3 hexes. So and that is a good roll. That's the best one. You add 3 to this damage die roll. So the fort is first. And 10, 13. What does a fortress need to be eliminated? 15. Wow. So 13 on the artillery there. Now the 2 hexes next to it. Let's do the bastion. 5 and 3 is 8 on the bastion. And a bastion's going to need 10. So only 2 more for that one. And then the regular wall is 7 and 3 is 10. That is a breach on the regular wall. And now we're mining the temple. Right there in the middle. Here we go. Now remember, those are considered bastions. Oh, my bad. I gotta roll 1 dice to see how many hexes are affected. 5 hexes. So here's the middle. We don't add any to the dice. Oh, we just got 11. We have a breach. And my tape cut off, but I got a 9. And it's a need a 10 for a breach. Next one. An 8. Now let's hit the fort. And we only got 4. And let's hit that corner. And a 6. Yeah, so one of the errors on the board, remember all these are bastions and that is orange. That's a fort like this corner. So a 6 on that. Breach in the middle in the temple already. So I can see already as a Roman what I'm not really after the temple. I'm going to set up a legion out there, but their job is to complete these breaches and just open it wide open there. Now I am after the Antonia Fortress, so I want to, you know, complete the breach on the fortress and that gate, and then get these other 3 taken out. Here, I don't care about that 7 damage anymore. I've got plenty of openings. That's enough to work with. Here, I'd like to complete these 2. Give me that opening and get in there. So, mining went fairly well. Next thing is, the Roman decides if he will assault, because I can always extend the assault period and try to mine more, but the maximum's 4, so yes, I am assaulting. And I now calculate and draw my replacements. And it's based on my total loss and how many weeks I took for the preparation. So again, it's a random draw. I'm going to put all these in there. And I put 1 Judean in there for the cavalry. That is a bigger counter. So it's 9.6, what 60% comes out to. So I actually get 10 out of my 16. So after getting my reinforcements back, you know, the 5th Legion is still ending up probably the weakest. I'm down a full cohort twice. The 5th Legion. The 15th Legion's down 1. The 12th is the strongest, but it does have its, you know, Cestius is the weakest commander. And then, actually, Lepidus is only down 1. So I think Lepidus, the 10th and the 15th are going to get the main assault duties. And I think we'll put the 12th on breaching duty there, since they don't really have to kill and fight. Then I'll decide where I want my 2 strongest assaults. I think I'm going to want 1 here and then 1 here. Then the other one will be over there. My strongest assaults will go here and here. What's next? I roll to build armored towers. And then I can also replace old towers and rams if I want, but I didn't have any destroyed. So my armored tower roll for 7 weeks is a +6. So we have 9 and 6 is 15. So that is greater than 12. I get 2 armored towers. So I get to add 2 armored towers to my forces. And in addition, I can take a ram and a tower and combine them, take them off, and put an armored tower in. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that yet. Yeah, and I got to do it now. I exchange equipment. So This guy does. So I actually want his ram to be ramming, and I want the armored tower to be hitting. So I'm going to give them an armored tower. And then I believe the same for here. I want the ram to hit and the armored tower to hit. These are my most important breakthrough, because I remember when this city is done, I mean when this assault is done, I have to own a percentage of the city. So the start of the second assault period, I only have to have 10%, which I do. But when I start the third, I have to have 20% of the city. Well, the Tyropian city is worth 10%. So if I still retain control of this and this, that's 20. Plus I want the Antonia Fortress, and that's worth 5%. Because the Judeans can still come out and take the new city from me by controlling 15 built-up hexes, basically. So part of the Legion's duty here is going to be to deal with this, but also make sure the Judeans don't come behind me and take these. Okay. After the exchange equipment, I may breach 1 elevated hex per week. So I took 7 weeks. I can breach 7 hexes. And we do that like over in this area. You don't want to keep climbing over the wall to get back and forth. I got to stay 2 hexes from his hex. And sometimes I don't like to destroy a bastion because that's more protection for me when I'm firing at him. So I will destroy 1 there. And I like to put 2, because 2 you can walk towers and cavalry in and out of them. 1 you cannot. So there's 2. That's good for there. And remember, I can't go next to where he's at. But sometimes I like to just destroy him, because he can just run down the walls. But guess what? It costs extra movement when I put breaches in here. And I don't want to give him, extra. He can actually go into a bastion. It gives him more power to defend himself. So I destroy this. Whoops. So I destroy this breach. I destroy that as a breach. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. So I'm destroying all the bastions. 7. So there's 7 destroyed walls. I gotta be at least 2 away. This one's not. Oh, I can only do 1 there. And I can't do that one. So that's fine. I want all these destroyed so he can't move down them quick. And then, of course, he's blocked here. He's blocked there. Those are already destroyed. Anyways, that is the elevated hexes. And then we replace headquarters. I already added them. And now we check the external influence tables to see if the Judeans won the game. And we remember, there's like 3 ways the Judeans to win. 1, did he get did I not gain a percentage of the city I was supposed to when I start my next assault? No, I did. So he didn't win by that. Did he amass 400 victory points during 1 assault period against me? That means killed a lot of my stuff? No, he did not. Has he amassed 1,500 points during the assault period? Or for a total for the game? No, he has not. And have I taken more than 25 weeks in this game? No, I have not. So, no external influences have won the Judeans the game yet. Matter of fact, how many weeks have I taken? I used 7 in this preparation, and I assaulted in 1 week in the first assault period. So I have used 8 weeks out of the 25 so far. Now I'm going to start the second assault. That's another week. So when the second assault is done, I will have used 9 weeks out of the 25. And then the Romans sets up first. So I will come back after I set up my Roman forces. So there is the Roman setup for, the 9 principles of war that the U.S. military uses. One of them is keep the order simple and easy to achieve. Another one is to give each unit a direct, attainable, decisive objectives. And so that's what I like to do for every unit here. So this legion's job is to break down this fort, open up the breaches, and help conquer the Tyropian city. Also, it is to watch the units that they don't come out and control the new city on this end. That's what these units are doing here. And again, it doesn't look like a lot, but the cavalry will handle it, and I gave them some missile infantry. That's another principle war. Do not put more forces on secondary objectives than needed. Don't waste your resources. This legion's job, the 15th, is, and that's why he has Titus, is to go through the breach and take the Tyropian city. That's his job. And I don't destroy these bastions or the walls. I want to control it all and put archers up there. Secondary, we want to just take this fort. So I don't want to mess around with them, every assault phase, them having this. I think it's easy enough for me to conquer this, so I'm going to set out to do that. The 10th Legion's job, and some of it's here and some of it's here, is to take the Antonio Fortress. And they'll probably assault these objectives, get missile fire up here to help conquer the Tyropian city. But mainly, he's to destroy what's left on these damaged walls and get into Antonio Fortress. The 12th Legion's job is to finish off the damaged walls on the temple area. So they're going to start. They're on more on this end. You have to set up 5 from the wall when you don't control the area. So we're away from the wall here, 5 hexes, and then we're going to head into that area. That's the setup for the Romans. I'll come back after the Judean setup. Now, when you set up the Judeans, you got to look at how many forces you have available. This one's small, but it has quite a bit of archers, and I stacked archers big time going around this. All this is archers using the Antonio Fortress guards too. The purple guys are under there. Same all around here, archers, and then backing them up with the temple quarter guards. A lot of firepower, a lot of archers, everything here, artillery and archers. Making the Romans pay dearly if they come into that little square. This one was a smaller force with a minimal amount of archers, and the archers went here, here, and here, and then backed it up, gave them 2 zealots to watch the gate area there, and 4 zealots in the Antonio Fortress. It looks like, when I'm seeing the Romans set up, yeah, I see this out here, but I also see this here, and everything in here can move on to the fortresses and get over into the temple if I have to. So I got 4 holding down the Antonio Fortress. But look at this concentration here. One of my biggest forces are right here where the main breach is. And 2 zealots, 2 zealots, 2 zealots, 2 zealots with Benier, all waiting for that. I usually put all archers on bastions because on the walls they're too easy to kill off with missile fire, but I went ahead and put one here. I wanted more missile fire out here. And then I put the militia in the breach like I usually do, because I don't care if the Romans attacking from a breach or half. So you can let the Romans start on the breach and then start attacking that line, or you can force them to at least attack this line. If they fail, then they're sitting out here, still waiting to get into the breach, and all I'm losing is militia. The green one is the largest force. That's why I've got them spread out along here. If I can come out, cause problems here in the new city, I will. Otherwise, I'm guarding mainly heavily the breach here. So I really got everything stacked along here. Archers in the bastions like usual. 3 stacked there. And then I gave them just a couple zealots there. I got a bunch here. I'll run them that way if I have to. And again, you start heavy. Now, I only put single stacks in this because if I start losing more expensive men here and they have to start retreating and you're overstacked, then you start losing your men. So be careful of that so that you're not overstacked. And once the Romans start attacking, and I start condensing the forces and see exactly where the danger spot is. And again, that's another principle of war is economy of force and mass. So you want to put your forces where they're needed, and then at the crucial times, the decisive time in the battle, you want a good amount and enough forces to get the job done at the right point at the right time in the battle. So that's what you're looking for here. And we will come back. Now I'm not going to go as slow as I did in the first in the first assault phase, because hopefully you got the rolls down. I might take one turn and give you a complete rundown of the turn of what it looks like. But the first couple turns here, I'll probably just tell you what I'm doing. So we're going to start with the Judean free fire phase. And then we go to a Roman first turn. We do the rally. Then we do another Judean fire phase in the Roman turn. Then we do the Roman turn fire phase. Then we do the Roman movement and Roman melee. So the Roman first turn is over. It doesn't probably look like I did anything, but I just advanced the line. Now since the armored towers can only move 3, they can't reach the designated hexes I want them to try to breach. So I just left them 3 back. I mean, if I'm not going to reach the wall, might as well wait till next turn. And that way, staying more than 2 hexes away from the Judeans will give them minimal firepower. So everything advanced. Now over here is a little, I had to send the ram and other things through the breaches, and you can only do that if you have 2 breaches. I'm just going over rules because I want to get through this assault without making any mistakes. And you have to have 2 breaches. It costs 3 to move a siege engine in the breach, as far as a lot of other pieces. But anyways, and then the 12th Legion advanced toward this way. It's going to work on the temple. So that's why these units got stuck behind. I put up an escalade there. I couldn't rally these 2 that got damaged by the ballista, so they're stuck. I'm leaving a fresh heavy infantry there just in case if they shoot at them again. And then I only took 1 attack on the wall right here and disrupted the guy. And then I decided not to attack the wall anymore, because then he can roll reserves. So before I even really launch an assault, he's getting more men to reinforce. So I didn't want that to happen, so I just waited. And then the only melee I had was this fortress. I surrounded it so he doesn't have a retreat route. Even though he doesn't have to retreat inside the fort, you can still surround it and you're doubled on attack. So these guys got doubled, and I can't attack from the ground hexes into the gate. So I only got to double this and this. It turned into 1 to 1. I rolled a 1. And just how my luck starts out in this assault. To roll for the rally for those 2 men that were disrupted, I rolled 2 6s, so I couldn't get them. So the rolling's already not starting good for the Romans. So it will go to the Judeans' turn. We'll start with the Judean rally phase, which there will only be 1 person. I was seriously contemplating bringing out zealots and even militia and forming a lineup here and attacking them here. Why I would say the Romans are more vulnerable, especially trying to kill a siege engine. To move through a breach would be 3, 4, and testudos do not exert a zone of control, so it'd be 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you do not exert a zone of control on the tower, so we would go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can get this surrounded with 2, 4, 6 zealots and try to take this down. I probably wouldn't take it down. And then I'm out there with zealots with missile fire, and testudos can just disband and still have 2 movement points. So these 2 could still get around. You still have these, and they can move missile fire around these guys. I would lose all the zealots pretty much, and maybe not even destroy a siege engine. And then putting militia out here, the testudos would disband, roll through them, and then be on the line here a little vulnerable. But then I would be just, totally weakened here and not look the same. So I was seriously thinking about it, but I didn't do it. I think I'll just wait for the Romans to come at me. 2 Romans were killed in the Judean melee fire phase. During their turn, it was their turn. And then right here was another unit disrupted. So we're going to go back to the Roman turn. This is Roman turn number 2, and I'm going to try to rally everybody. And then the Judeans will fire at me again. And I'll come back after. So I'm going to do the Roman rally phase for turn 2. Then I'm going to do the Judean fire phase for the Roman turn. And then I'm going to do the Roman fire phase. And then I'll show you what happens when I come back after that before I move the Romans. So after the fire phases are done, killed 2 Judeans, lost 3 Romans. Do have one disrupted there. Didn't get that artillery back. I got the routed off the artillery there. This one. And then this artillery fire from the Judeans disrupted this Roman in the bastion. So I will move the Romans and then melee. Okay, so I advanced the Roman lines. 2 armored towers. I want to try to breach that. Attack that. I broke the testudos, and I still have 2 movement allowances and went up on the line. Tower. 2 towers on that. That's an armored tower. You know, all our artillery stayed behind. Pulled that guy off the line. Surrounded this again. This one's going in with 3 towers on this bastion. And 2 rams. An armored tower and a regular ram trying to bust down that Antonia fortress. And this inched its way that way. It's very crowded. It's a lot of slopes. Can only get so much up there. But I have the ram right there with the leader. Let's try to finish off that part of the wall. So hopefully I keep my losses down to a minimum. I put up a couple escalades in this assault. Like you didn't see me do that before. I put them up in the first assault, very rare. Like here, because I had shot a guy off the wall, so I took the wall. So he don't get the -1 for me attacking through an elevated hex on a tower. And then here I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to attack the militia off the wall and get next to this bastion, so he don't get the -1 when I use these to attack that. So that's all. Just a little tricks, and I'm going to try the same thing here on this militia before I attack that tower. So again, it's my second turn, but this is where I always make the push. In the first turn, you're at a little disadvantage. At this turn, I'm going to attack full force. First I meleeed at, and killed this with the melee, 2 units. And I shot where I wanted to help me get on the wall. Now I'm going to attack full force. And then when his turn comes, I get to fire again first in the fire phase. And I have everything up on the line as far as I could get it to hit the walls again. And what am I looking for? I'm looking to disrupt his archers or anything that can hurt my guys. So when his fire phase comes, it'll be less reduced. And then he gets to move all this stuff around, get the disrupted units off the wall, replace them with fresh units. And then when my turn comes, he gets to fire first, and then he'll have full fire effect on me. But that's how I like to run it. He only gets 1, with full capacity, because after that, I go after his archers again. And then I get 3 shots. I get a fire phase, attack, and then a fire phase in his turn first. So that's how I like to run the Romans. I really start assaulting on the second turn most of the time. So I'll come back after all the attacks are done, and we'll see how it goes. Well, my first round of attacks didn't go very well. This one, 1-to-1, total miss. Rolling a bunch of 1s and 2s. This one I did kill the one guy, or made this one guy back up, couldn't even kill him. Anyways, all of these were just militia, so I occupied all of them. Here I just made this guy back up. He disrupted and back up. I attacked this, totally missed. Big fail, fail, fail. And then just 1-to-1 where like here that didn't really matter. So I guess really what it counted was this, but I wanted to show you the multiple attacks before I continue. Make sure we do them right. You know, before I go on with this attack, I just want to say, you know, I screwed up on the defense here, I would say. I would say because this is breached and there's breached here, that this side can be weaker and I should have this side stronger. So as a Judean, that would be the smart play. And if worst comes to worst, at least go 7-2 on this end and 7-2 on this end. That's how it should be. Not just 2 militia there, because that's an easy breakthrough. So it's kind of a mistake on me setting up the Judeans. Like here, I don't have any zealots behind the line, so it is what it is. But here, I wanted to protect the breach and strengthen the zealots, and I left 2 militia there, so I think that was an oversight. I'd rather have at least 1 zealot. So let's do that. Anyways, the A multiple attack will now commence. What I want to do is double up somewhere. That's why I was looking at this, because let's double up on this. It's a 9. Now, these 2 A multiple attacks are going to attack it. I want to go 2 against this and 2 against this, and I'm hoping I succeed at one of them. It would give me more attacks. Let's do it. Let's take this, attack this. I'm attacking from a breach, so I'm halved. So that is a full cohort. It's now only a 9. This one's doubled on the tower. It can attack again no matter, everybody can attack no matter how many times, as long as you're attacking with one of the units has a multiple attack marker on it. So this is 14, and that's 14. That's 28, and 9 is 37. Now I have a 37 on a 10. And he is not -1 because I'm attacking from a breach. I think that matters. Yes, according to the TEC, the Terrain Effects chart, they lose the -1 for this melee because I'm attacking from the breach. So again, it's a 10, and what I hit, 14, 28, and 9 is 37. So it's not quite 4-to-1, but it's 3-to-1. Let's do it. 2. And we have a back. So he has to back up. And these are not over, that is stacked, but this one is not. So he can actually go through there and then there. Well, actually, he can stay there. Well, how many on? I'm just making sure Judeans couldn't stack 3 high like the Romans. So yes, that both these hexes are overstacked, so he has to get disrupted. You cannot back up through a fully stacked hex without getting further hurt. So he's now disrupted there. But I do own this. Now I can occupy this. I'll put the 7 in and the 7 here in, and that becomes a B multiple attacker. Now, the B multiple attack, you can't attack with it right now, otherwise all the A's have to come off. So you stop right there. Now, I want to take this A multiple attack, and with these 2, attack this hex. Remember, with an A multiple attack, you can use any other Romans to help attack your hex. So you have a 9, and I'm halved here for 9, I'm halved here for 9. So I have an 18, and I want to attack that 9. It's 2-to-1. And let's see if I can roll good here. And I got a 6. We have a back and an elimination. So we succeeded on that. Obviously, we're going to eliminate the militia. Oh. Okay, so another stinking roll. However, 2-to-1, we get to add 1 because I have cohort integrity, which makes it a back. Now I can choose to disrupt one unit. Yeah, let's not do all that. Let's eliminate it and go back. So the militia's eliminated. He backs up. Now I can occupy that hex. And put a B multiple attacker on him. Okay, now these two, I'll tell you what, I want to try to take this out with an A multiple attack. You got a 9, I got a 9. It's 1 to 1. Let's try it. Missed. And that one did not advance. Now, with this A multiple attack, I want to attack this, and I can use anybody I want. So I have 9 halved, 9 halved, 9 halved, and Titus is halved to 5. So it's 9, 18, 27, 32 on 14. And I have Titus for a +1. I have Cohort Integrity for a +1. So it's a +2 to the dice. 5 is a 6, 7. At 2 to 1. We have a disruption and an elimination. So one zealot's gone. And one disruption. And he has to retreat. Now going to this hex hurts him. And then he can stop there. So he becomes routed. Remember, you can't retreat into fully stacked hex without becoming hurt. Now that I've done that, I can advance into this hex. With Titus, and now go to another B multiple attacker. Now, an A multiple attack here. His archers are just going to try to shoot me off the wall, but I can attack with a 14, and the stair guy can go 3 and 2 for 5. I can have 17 on that militia. So let's do it. The militia's 2 and no modifiers. So it is 7 to 1. 2. With that, I think I'll move this guy on and give him the archer gone. And then I can still use this to attack down and hopefully do something here. That is a built up, but whatever. Do that. I'm going to go all 3 of these. It's 3 to 1 and I get the +2 to my dice. 6. 3 to 1. It's 2 E's and a back. Let's get this guy off the breach. Get Titus in there. Turn this into a C multiple attacker. And since this one did attack, it's done. So let's take this B in conjunction with this and hit this now. So you're a 5. I have to be halved here, so it's 8. But I can use my total 9. Is 9 and 8, 17. It's 3 to 1. And you're in a built-up. I have to -1. This is where the built-ups are better. But I have Cohort Integrity, so it cancels out. 2 at 3 to 1. And we have a disruption. So one guy's already disrupted. I'll just disrupt the bottom guy. And nothing more happens on that hex. So that stops. Let's move back to Titus. And let's hit, I have 18 and 18 is 36. Titus is 46 on 7. 7 times 6 is 42. So it's 6 to 1. And I add 2 to dice. And that's not a built-up hex. 5, 6, 7. 3 E's. I don't think I want to move Titus anymore. And you go A, B, and C, and then you run back down to an A multiple attacker. So since he advanced, all I'm going to do is keep combining these guys and go after them on this side. Let's go after this hex. You have a 10, and I have the same amount attacking again, which was what? 36, 46. 46, it's 4 to 1. And I have to minus 1 because I'm in a built-up, but I have Titus and Cohort Integrity. Now, even though there's 2 legions to the Cohort Integrity, I don't know if I explained that, you still only have to add 1. Or you get to only add 1, no matter how many Cohort Integrities you have there. So, it's a +2 to me, -1. So, +1 to this die roll at 4 to 1. 2 is a 4. We have a back and elimination. So, 1 more is dead. This guy just backs up. And we are, let's put Titus in the built-up hex. I think I like that. And let's move to a B multiple attacker. Now, these guys are already routed. Elazar is there. There is an archer, but I'll deal with that. Let's get rid of these guys. Seeing how I have, again, the same amount, right? 36, 46. And you got 10. 4 to 1. I get a +2 because of Cohort Integrity and Titus, and you're not in a build-up. So +2 to this dice. 4 to 1. There's a 4, 5, 6. 2 E's. And then let's run this guy right there. And I don't want to move Titus. And then that goes to a C multiple attacker. And let's attack this one. You're a 3. Oh ho, let's not make a mistake. Now, the roll is still the same. I'm still going to have 18, and I still have Cohort Integrity, so don't screw me up there. However, I'm only allowed 2 units in a built-up hex. No longer 3. So, let's go to this one. You have a 3 in a built-up. I have 18 and 8 here because these both are halved, which gives me 8. So it's 18, 26 to 3. That is 7, 8. 8 to 1. So 8 to 1 gives me a +1 because it's 1 more than 7 to 1. So it's +1. Cohort Integrity, which I still have there, gives me a +2. Now you're in a built-up, so I'm -1. So +1 to this dice at maximum on the table is a 6. We have 3 E's. So you're dead. And I want to pull one of these down. I really don't want to. I'm just thinking, keeping Cohort, I can't keep Cohort Integrity if I go there and then this hex opens up. I think I just want to pull him down because he automatically goes back to an A multiple attack, and then I can attack this hex using Cohort Integrity, and that's what I'll do. So I have 18 and 7 is 25, and you have 3. So again, it's 7 to 1. No, 8 to 1. So +1, Cohort Integrity, +2, but you're in a build-up. So +1 to me, 7 to 1 is a 7. And 3 E's. So 2 of them are used to kill. It leaves me 1 more. Yeah. So I can advance 2 hexes. No zone of control is in here. I think I want to do that. Or actually, I just want to go 1. If I move this guy to here, I can attack Elazar, though. Let's do it. So he becomes a B multiple attacker. And Elazar now is 11. And I have 12, 22, and 7 is 29 to an 11. So it's 2 to 1. He has a commander and so do I. So that cancels out. There's no more coordinator. So it's actually a -1 with just a 2 to 1. You know what? I don't want to do it. I just don't want to give up this hex. They're going to try to swarm around. They're going to get 3 on Titus. If they go behind me, I'll have to deal with that. I got archers. Do I want to do that? Yeah, because he can't get any. Because of zone of control, I better do that. Let's just do it. 2 to 1, -1 off the dice is a 4. And we have a disruption. So we'll disrupt Archer, and we're going to stay there. We don't have to move, and that's the end. That's how a multiple attack goes. Seems pretty crazy, don't it? The Aegeans have a lot of guys still. Romans in the clear and on the breach need to be hit, attacked hard. But remember, a missile phase comes next with the Judeans. That's why you want to hit them again as hard as you can with all your artillery. Like I'll go after these archers, I'll still go after those archers. And right here. So, anyways, that's how an attack phase goes. This is the dead for turn number 2. 3 Romans and that many Judeans. Remember, y'all want to try to keep killing more Judeans than he gets back in reserves. One thing I'm thinking about the Judeans, especially this gate, if I come out here and start fighting out here and harassing these guys, you know, especially this armored tower there, or the ram, I might do that. I have to do something. So the Judean rally phase, this one died. That one got its route marker removed. He missed. And I believe that's all I had. And then it goes to the Roman fire phase. Now I haven't fired yet. I just wanted to say the breach damage, I rolled pretty good here. So 4 away from collapsing the fortress. But this fortress got collapsed. I was only 3 away from that and I got it. And this one I rolled a 1 and missed. But anyways, what I need to start doing, I helped out the Judeans again, is I had everything stacked there. Well, when the breach happens, everybody's dead. So what I decided to do was last turn, if I saw this was inevitable and I had 2 towers there, instead of risking all the archers, I had 3 archers stacked there, trying to go after a shot, I'm going to say I was smart enough to back most of them out. So I can't move the artillery, so the artillery collapsed and died. But I did move the Calderon over, and I moved 2 archers down behind the wall, figuring, okay, if it's breached, I have archers there. And I did kill 1 archer just for making the mistake. But anyways, I want to start doing that for like this one, this turn. I'm going to move these archers out of that fortress. Don't want to lose all that just by collapsing. So, just a little note. This one has a little ways to go, I think. Yeah, I'm at a 6, and it's an orange one. An orange fort has to go up to 12, and I obviously missed that. So I can wait a couple turns with that one. Anyways, let's finish the Roman missile phase in the Judean turn. So, Judean fire phase is done. Now, I got 2 double Ds on this hex. Rolled pretty good. And since it's going to collapse, I'm going to move the troops off. I disrupted the Calderon and the artillery. This one had to fire there, so no other fire there. But here I took all these and fired through the breach at this hex. I had a -1, because remember I'm going through breach, and it's cumulative if you're firing over your troops. So it's only a -1. And I nailed this guy on the ground. I had a 9, so it gave me a +2, -1. It gave me a +1 of the die, so I killed 2 zealots with that fire. Tried to hit this guy off the wall, missed. I took everything I had else here, and then I got 2 Ds. One unit was already disrupted, or no, I got a D in elimination. Killed 1, disrupted 1. Tried to fire through here, rolled a 1. Fired everything on here, rolled a 1. But I took everything around here and hit this breach hex and disrupted both of them. So it's not a bad missile fire. So it is Judean missile fire in the Judean turn. Now I rolled for my reinforcements and I got 6 men. I put them all right here, and 4 of them were archers. So they're going to go here. This first fire phase won't be as effective. Remember, I've run across how this works, because as the Romans, you want to disrupt a lot of their fire on you. Well, the first round won't be as effective. He's going to move in. He's going to attack. I'm going to try to really gang up on this area and kill some guys here with everything I got, and beef up around him. And because he can't have cohort integrity, I'm hoping his attack won't go as good anymore with me in the built-up. I have to protect that breach. In my movement, I'm going to put archers, position archers where I can make the most, get the most effective fire. So when the Romans' turn comes, who fires first in the Roman turns? The Judeans, and then I'll get more of an effective fire. So really, that's why I like this Roman turn is the killer turn. Turn 2 is why I like to wait to turn 2, because I start with 3 attacks. It's my missile fire, then I melee, then we go to the Judean turn, and I missile fire first. So it's very potent, and this is everything that died like that. So the Romans still doing good, but it is the Judeans' turn, and we'll see what happens. The Romans tried to rally this one guy that I had disrupted the last attack, and he died. So we got at least 6 points out of that fortress, and we're going to keep hammering at it until it's gone. I couldn't have any effective fire on that with a 2, so anyways, the Judean, we'll do the Judean fire phase and then the movement phase, then I'll come back and show you what I'll attack. So I shifted everything I could here. I have 4 archers sitting there, but this is a breach. The Romans can just dismantle this testudo, run into it, and start attacking. So I left them there, but all the other archers I pulled up to hit these guys off the wall at least. Vacated this except for 1 militia. I didn't want to totally vacate it in case he misses on his ram roll. Then I just threw a guy outside the wall, decided to block this hex to get to the breach. Maybe, you know, still part of my thinking. If he rolls bad, he can't even get through there. But you can see I weakened up this whole side to pull guys in. This one I weakened up this area to pull in. I weakened up this area to pull in. Because my old adage, what I was doing on the new wall, was just keeping the Judeans on the front line. And just keep funneling them in. And the Romans tore them up. So here I'm trying to be a little bit smarter, fighting more down on the ground, letting them have the wall where all their artillery is massed. Make them come inside more and fight. It's sort of like the old adage in World War II in Normandy, France. You had von Rundstedt in charge of Army Groups A and C and overall commander in the Western Front. And then you had Erwin Rommel, who was in charge of Army Group B, and he was the commander of France, of the invasion defense, let's say, for the defense of the invasion coming. And he wanted to destroy the Allies on the beach as they landed, and Rundstedt wanted to hold reserves back, and as they came on and tried to break out, he wanted to hit them with everything he had there. And that's sort of what I'm putting up with here. I try to do the Rommel thing and hold them off the wall, but now I'm leaning more to Rundstedt's theory of bring them inside and then hit them with everything we got that we're holding in reserve. Here, just trying to block the breach, shifted some of them around, kept archers here so I can keep firing. This one I vacated the breach. They were disrupted. I didn't want to weaken anything else here, because if he comes in here, what's he going to do? He has to put escalades to come up here, get to a bastion, get down to conquer the temple. Well, I got forces there, and I'll be prepared to run these forces around and even take these forces down the gate if I have to. I got plenty of firepower here if he tries to run Romans inside. We'll see how that goes. But I brought these guys back, figured, hey, let's get them rallied and back in the fight. So we don't really need that guy there. You can put 2 on a bastion, so plenty of firepower in that if he wants to walk inside. And if I have to vacate the Antonia Fortress and pull the Ben Gurion force into the temple, I will. We'll see what he does there. Quickest way for me to get to the temple now is right here, right? There's no other gates here. Well, there's a gate here, but these forces can protect that. I'd have to run people down the wall, down this, and in to this entrance right here. And then I can get them in the temple. A lot of his forces can't reach yet. They're not really in. Next turn, we'll see what we decide to do. If I start approaching that breach, then I might have to shift Judean forces. But as for now, he can't really make a big push there yet. So I really position missile fire all around here. Like, I have enough missile fire to take out that whole cohort next turn. I disrupted 2 of them. Good missile fire phase. Disrupted 2 there. Disrupted this guy here. Disrupted this guy here. Disrupted the leader and a guy pushing that ram there. So rolled pretty good on the Judean missile fire. But right now it's attack. I'm going to see what I can attack. Maybe attack that. See what I can get disrupted. Move, advance with my missile infantry. Pulled all the disruptions back. I can't leave gaps because I'd like to keep pulling guys back. If I leave gaps, the Romans can just walk around and hit more of a weaker spot if he wants. So keep them contained there. Alright, I'll come back after the attack. All in all, not really bad. I mean, I took some low. Every shot was, the best shot I had was a 3-to-1 over here, but most of them were 1-to-1 or 1-to-2. They failed here all 1-to-1s, but here I was able to, I missed this. Okay, I tried to hit this, missed. Tried to hit this, and ended up disrupting another unit. No, that was already done. I think I missed this one. Then I took everything I had and I hit the one soldier I here and disrupted him. That was the 3-to-1 shot. He had to back up through a fully stacked hex, which made him routed after he was disrupted. So he's routed right there. Then I had an A multiple attacker and I took all of these and tried to hit this cohort. Missed. I didn't want to, now, like, if this was Titus and the Romans, I would have moved in him and kept hitting around. But if I would have took these archers and went into here to attack, it leaves this area kind of open. If I fail the attack, Romans can go around and possibly hit weaker spots and start their A multiple attack and multiple attack. I thought it would put me in a vulnerable spot. I don't do the same thing as the Judeans as I do for the Romans. I kept him right there matching Titus, especially with the archer fire. I'm going to pour into that next turn. I don't know if that was a great idea. I mean, because once I come here, then what's in this hex? Nothing. It allows Romans to move in, and I can shift more Romans in this area. Just, I don't agree with it, so I want to keep them right there. Anyways, I took a lucky shot here, disrupted that Roman. I didn't do this one. This one can come out of the gate, actually. Let's hit a 10. And you defend at a 9. So it's 1-to-1. 6. And we have an elimination. I think I'm going to eliminate this disrupted guy. And we go back in the gate. So Roman, I'll tell you what, the Judean die roll is way better than the Romans right now. 5s and 6s on these 1-to-2s and 1-to-1s. That is the end of the Judean turn 2. We are moving into turn 3. Romans turn 3. Over here, I ended up disrupting 2 more cavalry. Came out of this gate. And now with this missile fire, I might get both cavalry. I might kill 3 cavalry there. Can't really lose more than that, though. Can't afford to lose more cavalry than that, but... So, that's the way Battlefield looks right now. And for the turn 2 losses, only 5 Romans, but I hope to improve that next turn. I'm going to get a lot of missile fire and keep that force there hemmed in. I pulled all the zealots there I could. I brought up zealots. So we'll see. The Judean missile fire, again, will be their last good punch to weaken the Romans, but then the Romans come back with a missile fire, an attack, and then a missile fire. So this side looks pretty solid. This looks pretty solid. This looks like the weak spot. We may try to push everything we can through this spot here. Right? Blow some guys off the wall here. Keep advancing this way. Because I had to pull some of these guys back to help this flank here that got tore up. And both of these guys were, one died, one was disrupted. So I had to pull them down. I don't have any archers to put back up here without taking them off this gate. There's no archers here. I don't have any. So, anyways. Maybe that'll be the next area. I need this area. This one took all the men. He's almost out of men if you look on his force. But this guy has plenty of men and the green has plenty of men. Alright.